what's up you guys, this is Rob from A Gay Guy Plays, and today on #confirmed, we are going to be taking a look at the new mod sets that have been released on the Warframe Plains of Eidolon teaser site. Yes, the teaser site is out, so you know what that means, that Plains of Eidolon is coming soon, and so are these new mod sets. There's some very interesting things to note on these, and a couple weird things that are a little bit different from the graphic as to what's actually been put up on the site, so we'll make note of that when we cross those paths. These mod sets are actually really cool because I know that one of the things that we had talked about before was a lot of these mod sets are actually 6 mods in a single set, and that would be insane to put onto your Warframe. However, it's looking like some of these mods are actually going to be distributed through your Warframe and your weapons themselves. So I figured let's go ahead and jump straight on in. Give your Warframes and weapons a boost with new mod sets. A set bonus is applied if equipped with mods from the same set. These mods are available as potential rewards from completing bounties from Konzu in Cetus, and may be acquired as drops from assassination bosses. So, like we were talking about a little bit earlier in a previous video, these were actually going to be available in the reward table, so keep that in mind. Now, like I was saying earlier, there is a little bit of a discrepancy between the mod sets that are pictured, because some of the things that they say in the pictures themselves are not necessarily what's said on the mod, so there's definitely a bit of discrepancy there. Keep that in mind when we're reading through this, because, like I said, what is pictured is not necessarily the same as what is said on the sites. So let's start with the Augur mod set. Now, the set bonus is 150 energy spent on abilities is converted into shields. I'm not really sure how many people that's going to jive for, if a lot of people are excited for bonus shields, but you know what, it's something to keep in mind. So Augur Accord gives the Warframe 160 shield capacity. Augur Message gives the Warframe 20% ability duration. Not terrible, and I believe that when we looked at it originally, and this is the thing to keep in mind, is this was originally, it looked like it had the insignia of an aura mod on it, but it's not looking like that in this image, but we'll have to kind of cross that path to see. But it is 20% ability duration. Now, if it was in the Exila slot, or if it was in the aura slot, I would definitely be excited about it, but in the pictures themselves, it's not showing them or depicting them in that way. Augur Pact is 80% damage for your pistols. That's not terrible. That's something that I would consider using. Augur Reach is 30% ability range. There are definitely some instances where I would like a little bit of extra range, so I'm definitely excited about that. Augur Secrets, the Warframe gets 20% ability strength. I know y'all ability strength fiends are gonna be all up on that, and the one thing that I do want to point out, which I think is really interesting, is Augur Seeker now gives pistols a 20% status chance. So you know all of those pistols that just nearly made the 100% mark, especially some of the shotgun pistols? This might be something that you can play around with to see if it's worth the efficacy of losing that mod slot. So again, this is the 150 energy spent on abilities is converted into shields. Very exciting to see new DE kind of experimenting with different sets, right, and playing around with all of these different effects. However, I don't feel like the effect is strong enough, at least in my personal opinion. Some of those I'll actually just slot in just for the sake of slotting in, but I don't necessarily know if I'm going to do it specifically for the effect. This next one, the set bonus, is a 30% chance to enhance critical hits from primary weapons. Now, I actually went ahead and kind of like took a closer look at what they said about enhancing critical hits, but there was no actual statistical bonus to it. Like, they're not saying, is it a 30% chance to increase critical chance, or is it 30% critical damage? They did not say anything about that in here. This will probably require some further testing. But starting out, we have Vigilante Armament, which is 20% magazine capacity. Vigilante Fervor, which is for your primary weapon, 40% fire rate. Vigilante Offense, primary weapon gets 70% critical chance. That might actually be good to slot in for a little bit of consistency, as opposed to, let's say, the, what is it? Hydraulic Crosshairs, or is Hydraulic Crosshairs for secondary? Argon Scope. I think it might be Argon Scope. But yeah, that might be nice to slot in for consistency, as opposed to having to aim down sights with that one mod. Vigilante Pursuit gives the Warframe plus 20 enemy radar. Vigilante Supplies, and this is actually different in the actual image itself. It looks like it actually converts the rifle ammo into different ammo, but unfortunately that's not what it says here, so I'm just pointing that out. This one actually gives 20% ammo maximum, which honestly I would rather have the ammo conversion between you and me. And then Vigilante Vigor, which is Warframe plus 20% sprint speed. And I'm kind of like looking at this real fast just to check, because as you can see in the image provided, Vigilante Vigor actually has 60% shield recharge. So again, there's some discrepancies going on, but I mean, this is what DE published. They said, hey, listen, look at this look at this set. So we're taking a look at the last set, which is the Gladiator mod set, which gives 150% critical chance and stacks with combo multiplier. Holy shit, is this gonna be a fucking built-in? Is this gonna be some sort of built-in blood rush? You're lying to me. 25, I'm double checking, I'm looking at the side a little bit. 25% critical chance stacks with combo multiplier. The fuck does that mean? Is it like blood rush? Don't tell me this is like blood rush in a mod set. That would be ridiculous. Oh my god. So we have Gladiator Aegis, which is Warframe plus 40% armor. Gladiator Finesse, which is 20% sprint speed. Gladiator Might, oh my god, we just got a sprint speed buff up there. And then we got a sprint speed buff over here. You can make a super fast Warframe if it's not wrong. If it's not wrong, like we were saying earlier, there does seem to be a little bit of a discrepancy. Gladiator Might, which is melee, which is 40% critical damage. Not terrible at all. Gladiator Resolve, which is 160% Warframe health. Gladiator Rush, which is melee increased duration, combo duration by 4%. Gladiator Vice, melee is 20% attack speed. Now, a lot of the things that we are seeing kind of like in these mod sets is they're kind of like lesser versions of their more popular mod, but they are giving you a bonus effect to it. And I think one of the things that I did want to point out with all of this is the fact that it doesn't really feel like, aside from the 100% critical chance stacks with combo multiplier, aside from that, I don't really know how well the rest of the sets are gonna do, because they did say a 30% chance to enhance critical hits from primary weapons. What do we mean by that? Like, we need some actual, like, numbers to, like, be sure of that. 150% energy spent on abilities is converted into shields. That might be something useful for Hero, but I don't really know any other, what is it called? Any other Warframes that would really rely on that, unless, I don't know, like, and I'm doing a fringe case here, alright? Unless you are maybe like a Chroma that needs to, like, you know, you don't want to put any points into, maybe you're not going to use Vigor or something because you want to make sure that you always have armor coming in from your shields for a Vex armor, you know what I mean? Because Vex armor gives you armor based on the amount of shields that you lost up to a cap or whatever. A part of me is just kind of like, it's really, really fringe, and I figure we'll just end up on this screen right here because legitimately, it's the Mag Pneuma collection, which is fantastic. But let's continue the talk about these mods. I don't feel like they're necessarily the most powerful out there. I mean, it's an interesting thought and it's an interesting start, and maybe there will be variations in the future that really do feel like they affect your gameplay in a much bigger perspective. But, you know, right now the only one that I'm really like jazzed about is the Gladiator mod set. That might be really, really cool to not necessarily put all of the parts into your builds, but to have a couple parts here and there that do feel worthwhile in the builds that you can to get extra critical damage with your melee. So that's the only one that I'm really like excited about. The Vigilante is something that I consider depending on what they mean by enhanced critical hits from primary. Like, I'm thinking critical damage. That's what I'm thinking, a boost to the critical damage, but it says a 30% chance. What do you mean by a 30% chance? We'll have to find out when these launch. However, I do think that these are very, very interesting. I want you guys to go ahead and let me know how you feel about these mods in the section below. And actually, I'm going to do this really quick too. I'm going to put this up on screen because I do have the raw images of these. So you guys can kind of see exactly what's going on with them and some of the differences to changes, because there are definitely some different things here. And let's see if we can zoom in. So that is the mods from Gladiator Vice, Gladiator Rush, Gladiator Resolve, and really This is one of the things that we've seen here. Gladiator Defense drains energy to stop lethal damage with 60% efficiency. So part of it is kind of like, that's not something that was listed earlier. And Gladiator Vice is attack speed, not it's not Warframe movement. So part of me is like, I don't know, like these might not, it might not be all that it is there, but let's take a quick look at these two kind of check. Ability range, that seems fine. Ability duration is fine too. But that one actually is 24% when I think that they said that the max was 30%. I don't know, I just feel like there's a little bit of a discrepancy with what DE posted and what they actually pictured, because if you look at the pictures show, will actually show these ones, and the Vigilante Supplies one is the one that you can really tell is a big difference, which converts unused ammo pickups into rifle ammo. Same thing for Vigilante Vigor, which is the shield recharge, and Vigilante Offense is actually punch through listed here. So there's definitely a little bit of discrepancy. Let me know what you guys think about these mods. Let me know how you guys feel about the set bonuses off of them, and most importantly, as opposed, we can do a little vote here. As opposed to what is listed on the site and what is actually pictured on the screen, which mods would you prefer better? Would you prefer the ammo mutation? Would you prefer the punch through? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and that about does it for now. I'm gonna go ahead and take a peek at the rest of the site itself because I am super jazzed, and we'll probably do a little bit of a check back in when we take a look at the stats for the weapons that we covered yesterday. We'll get a little bit of a clearer view on that. Regardless, that about does it for me right now, and as always, love somebody, hurt nobody, and touch yo body. I'll chat with you guys next time. Bye-bye!